You're listening to My Comic Life on the My Comic Life Podcast Network. Welcome back to My Comic Life, folks. That's right. If you're listening to us, you found that one-stop podcast for all things geek, nerd, movies, video games, pop culture. If you're into that, stop and keep on listening right here to My Comic Life, the nerdiest, geekiest podcast out there. Joining me each week in the My Comic Life studios, folks, he's the man who taught the Transformers how to transform. Alex, say hello to the folks out there, Alex.
It was just a little, it was more about stretching than anything else. That's what the main thing was. Once you get the stretching down and you're breathing right, you too, listener, can transform into a Ford F-150. So get at it right now. We've missed you guys a whole lot. We had a little bit of a summer break there. Sam, how did you fare on your vacation?
I went to Dragon Con in Atlanta with my friends, and I had a blast. That was just one big nerdy party. It was like, put on your best cosplays and take pictures with everybody and just live it up safely, of course. We were all wearing masks.
I saw your Casey Jones mask.
Yeah, man, yeah. I grew out what I call pandemic hair. I have hair about down to my shoulders right now, and so I was like, what heroes, what cosplays can I build around my hair? And I was reading a Ninja Turtles comic, and I was just like, damn, I should be Casey Jones. Like, that would be a lot of fun.
It just came to me.
It just came to me. Let me tell you, it felt really good. I got stopped more on the street, like more fist bumps, more like, hey man, love Casey Jones. Like, hey man, can I get a picture with you? That felt really good. I mean, like, I'm not like a professional cosplayer. I do it on the side for fun. But like, the biggest compliment you can give a cosplayer is to stop them and either say, hey, I really like your costume, or B, can I get a picture with you? Because it means that you've achieved some bit of like authenticity there, enough that people like believe you are that character. So
Oh, absolutely.
yeah.
And you did. I mean, listeners, please, check out Sam's IG, or maybe if you put it up on the
I'll post some
Facebook
pictures
page.
to the yeah. Alex, so
Absolutely.
what did you do with your summer break there, my friend?
I didn't do shit. I mean, I worked. I worked a lot. Kind of like work's been nuts right now. Just pulling a lot of hours, and then spending whatever time I can with the family, going swimming. Had a few birthdays that we had to plan, and we did. So that's basically, it was kind of the staycation. We've been we're saving up for the big one. So we'll let y'all know, down the line. But for the most part, it was just a lot of vegging out, and I hope you listeners, you did the same. We like to, give you guys the best content that we can think of, and kind of hitting that reset button and taking a small break allows us to kind of things to build back up, so that way we can tackle them at the in the manner that you guys are used to, and with the kind of the pedigree that we're used to. So, but I had a good time. Sam had a good time. Now it's time for the listeners to have a good time. Sam, can you please take us into this week's show?
But of course, man, Marvel released a pair of trailers just about a week ago or 2 weeks ago, and man, these were huge. First up, we have the Eternals new trailer, which raises the action bar to a crazy level. We're talking like cranking it to 11. Marvel Studios' ambitious Eternals production released the final trailer this week. This release differs greatly from the first teaser dropped 3 months ago. Filled with exposition and action, the newest trailer looks to build on the hype leading up to the movie's November 5th release. Alex, first question out of the gate. Do you like your trailers more ambiguous, kind of like the May 24th teaser, or more direct like this latest iteration?
For this particular production, I did like the more direct release because I don't know too much uh, about the Eternals. Now, if it would have been like X-Men or something, a property that I'm super familiar with, and everybody is very popular and stuff. Like the less that they give you in the trailer is the better. I do believe in that, but in order to drum up kind of like some support and some hype for a group like the Eternals, which has kind of been they're kind of not for lack of a better word, kind of a B tier type of team. They're not, your Avengers or your X-Men, and even your Guardians of the Galaxy at one time were considered a B team, but it rocketed them to stardom. And I feel like the more information that you can get for these, because it's a very eclectic cast, the better. That would be for me. I would think that this particular trailer, the newest one, is a lot better than the previous one. What about you, Sam? Do you like, I know you're not the trailer guy, and we all know that you prefer to keep some air of mystery about your what you're gonna watch. What did you think? Do you like this one, or did you like the previous one more?
No, actually, I really liked this one. Yeah, like I said in the past before, I feel Hollywood trailers spoil too much. But like you, I don't know a ton about the Eternals other than Jack Kirby had a hand and created them. Salute to the legend there. So no, I was glad to see these characters. Just see character development expand more, see them interact just a little bit more. This still held just enough mystery for me that like I'm still curious. Like what is going on? Like why now are they choosing to act? And like. And also, I gotta say kudos to this trailer because like it really psychs me out in places because it looks like some of these characters may not live to the end of the film, and I'm already feeling bad for that because I'm like, no, 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 I want to. I already like this whole ensemble cast you've assembled for me in this trailer, and like I want to see them coming back for more and more and more. So I mean, like I've seen some shots where it looks like the bad guys really have them cornered, and I'm like, oh crap, it looks like they're about to die. How are they going to get out of this one? And thank God they're not answering those questions in that trailer. Like they're leaving them open. And so yeah, with like that amount of mystery left, like this is a totally acceptable trailer for me, and I really enjoyed it. It was well put together. Second question I got up here for you, Alex. What or was that an acceptable reason for the Eternals not getting involved in the Thanos saga? Like they said that they couldn't because they're only supposed to get involved when, and I'm blanking on the creature's name, but there's some evil that they're only supposed to like the only time they're supposed to get involved is when that evil makes its appearance, and they've been ordered to. Is that is that a good enough reason for you?
Um, no, no, and I don't think so, man. Because I mean, I guess for the sake of storytelling, yeah, it is kind of it is better that they do this because then I'm gonna go in. I'm automatically asking myself, well, why the hell, where the hell were they during Thanos? Because each one of these Eternals looks like they could easily take out Thanos on their own. Like Icarus, especially, that guy kind of he mirrors Superman, and I think he was designed that way to mirror Superman in the Marvel universe. But I mean, like, I don't know. They built up Thanos to be this big bad, and then they put these guys in there, and they just seem like they could, you know, definitely give him a run for his money, and they could have. I don't know. I don't know. To me, it's like I just end up with more questions when they say, "Oh, we just can't get involved with it because it's human affairs or whatever the hell it was." But, I mean, why don't you give me your opinion on it? Because I could go on, and I don't know.
Well, first of all,
it just rubbed me the wrong way.
it didn't rub me the wrong way. And deviant, thank you for reminding me that of there in the show chat. Yes, they said we can't do anything to interfere with the course of human history unless deviants are involved. And the other reason I think it's okay that they didn't get involved is because they were saying when Tony snapped back like all of the universe, like it released an energy that I think awoken awoken or awoke the deviants, or cause some galactic entity to like wake up, and it's causing a global, if not galactic level threat. And as long as half the universe had stayed gone, I mean, yes, it's sad, but like this even bigger threat, possibly bigger than Thanos, wouldn't have come along. And that's why it's kind of like they almost have like an Utu the Watcher omniscience to them. They're like, look, man, like we would love to help you, but like we cannot, absolutely cannot get involved in the course of human history unless like a deviant shows up to alter it, because like they're not supposed to be here in human history. So no, it just made it more intriguing to me, especially in the trailer when like somebody asked a question, like, yeah, like why weren't you helping with Thanos? And they're like, we were ordered not to. And they're like, who ordered you not to? And you see some shot of like this giant red being, and you're not sure if that's who ordered them or not, or anything else like that. That just adds an air of mystery to this for me. What stood out most to you in this trailer, Alex?
I liked. I was a huge fan of Icarus. I guess what stood out most to me was when they kind of sort of demonstrated each one of their powers. Like you saw, Athena had the weapons that she could kind of conjure out of light, and Icarus had, you see his flight and his strength and his eye lasers, which are top notch. As far as eye lasers go, man, those are some good looking ones. And I'm blanking on his name, but he had the guns, the finger guns, the guy who Kumal Nanjiani plays.
Kumal, yeah, Nanjiani, yeah.
I cannot remember his name. And then you see, Cersei, kind of that truck or that bus or whatever was falling on her, and all she did was just touch it and turn it into a whole bunch of flower petals, and that was really cool to watch. So that's probably what stood out the most to me in the trailer, besides the one big thing that we'll get to in a second for you fans. So don't be, you could quit screaming at your radio like, what the hell are you talking about? Because
How are you missing this?
Yeah, okay, we'll get to it in a second. But Sam, please answer the question for these people so we can move on.
Well, first and foremost, the first thing that stood out to me was, and got my heart just a beating 100 miles a minute, is we see Selma Hayek riding a horse on that open green plain. I was just like, oh yes, I'm still in love with you. I still have a huge crush on you. That hasn't faded since 5th grade at all.
Where's your python?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Not quite from dusk till dawn, but yeah, man. No, I mean, she still looks as breathtaking as ever and badass as ever. So yeah, first that, and then yeah, just seeing everybody's powers from Icarus's flight and his eye beams, which look like they're definitely paying homage to Man of Steel's eye beams, but yeah, top notch eye beams there. Yeah, and seeing, oh my gosh, Angelina Jolie, yes, kind of create like a Triton and a shield weapon, and yes, Kumal Nanjiani with like the handguns, and you see one of the guys, kind of come up and do like a double-fisted like energy punch, and so yeah, those were all exciting things. The one thing that I'm kind of glad they're holding back on, but I still really like want to see how they're going to bring this to screen, is Kit Harington supposed to be playing, I believe, the Black Knight, and like that's not a Marvel character I know a ton about. Like I've seen him pop up on the Avengers a little bit, and like when he's had solo series, like I've always bought like the first comic book and like the solo series, because I like the mythology surrounding this character, and so he has a really unique kind of looking costume. So like I said, I would have loved to have seen Kit Harington like in the full Black Knight costume there, just to see like what that's gonna look like. But yeah, no, same as you, them fighting the beast and like them showing off their powers, and of course again, Selma Hayek riding the horse. Those are the things that really stood out to me. But like you said, there is one shot that has everyone talking, and that is of this gigantic red robot-like creature with 6 glowing eyes. Now, this shot looks to promise that the Eternals will go more in depth into the galactic side of the MCU than any other production has so far. Now, it has been confirmed that this is not Galactus. I can't believe anyone thought this was Galactus. Sorry, was about to nerd rage there, was about to Hulk out on nerd rage on anyone thinking this was Galactus. Calming down, calming down. All right.
So, hey, big guy, sun's getting real low.
Yeah. So anyway, this is confirmed not to be Galactus, longtime villain of many Marvel comic titles and rumored main villain of the upcoming MCU phases. But this begs the question: what is it? Yeah, Alex, what is this? Like, what do you think it is?
um, well, it says that Celestials have been teased for in the MCU before, and when you get Guardians of the Galaxy 1, I believe the mining station that they go to with the Collector, where he is stationed at, and then even Ego in Guardians of the Galaxy 2, but he's in the comic books. He's not a Celestial. I believe he's just like some kind of galactic embodiment or something like that. I don't remember what it is. There's a link in the notes that kind of shows the scale of the Marvel kind of hierarchy. But it looks to be a fan's first look at a comic accurate interpretation of the Celestials that creator Jack Kirby had envisioned during the Silver Age of comics. Now, so Sam, they haven't outright said it, but do you think this is a Celestial?
I do, because like you just said, I'm excited because this pays homage to Jack Kirby's awesome and colorful creations. That man knew how to do a splash page so well in comics. And yes, this looks like the Celestials that he created. So yeah, even though they haven't outright said it, yes, I do think it is a Celestial, and it's possible, maybe this Celestial gave birth to the Eternals. Like I said, I don't have a lot of history and background on the Eternals, so you hardcore comic book fans out there who may be like rolling your eyes at my theory there, I apologize. Feel free to correct me in the comments on our Facebook page or on our YouTube channel. But there is that shot in the trailer where like they're all around like a round table in their ship, and they're all glancing up at like this kind of like hologram of this six-eyed red robot, So I mean, and I really do think it is a Celestial. Now, is this Celestial good or bad? Like was Tony snapping half the universe back into place? Like what awoken this Celestial? We're gonna have to find out. But yeah, Alex, where do you think that they fit in the pantheon? Meaning, like, do you think the MCU hierarchy will like go higher than the Celestials?
Well, I'm not sure. I'd like to see them, but then you just start getting into the really abstract parts of, and then you almost get into like kind of like the theistic type of, the side of it
Yeah.
where you've got the one above all and the one below all and stuff like that. I think that I would like to see the highest that they go, I guess, is the Living Tribunal, who was already kind of name dropped
Oh.
in that first Doctor Strange movie. Um, and then, yeah, I think after that they should just have kind of like the Celestials be kind of like his judges or whatever, because you know how in Loki they had the TVA and they had the judges, and they had the timekeepers and stuff. I would like to see the Living Tribunal kind of be like the timekeeper of the multiverse, and the Celestials be his judges that go out and kind of enforce the rules of it. Because I just there's just way with all the rumors that are going around right now. You have, I mean, there's what Shuma Gorath is supposed to be in coming in a production. I don't know if it's the Doctor Strange. I don't think it's Doctor Strange. It's what the Marvels, right? I think it's supposed to have Shuma Gorath in it. And there's a couple of other, I just don't know if there's room for all these like huge names when it comes to the kind of pantheon of the Marvel universe. But I hope that they can eventually get there, but man, I think a lot of people will be fatigued by the time they start pulling out like the in betweener and Master Order and Lord Chaos and shit like that. So maybe, like I said, the Living Tribunal will just be the one that they stop at, and of course I'd love to see Galactus in there. But what about you, Sam? I pose that same question to you. Do you think they're going to get any higher than this, or is this where it stops?
I mean, Alex, you said it beautifully. You couldn't have said it any better. You are so eloquent in your statement there. I 100% agree with you. I don't want to see it go up any higher on the scale. I mean, perfect, Alex. Yeah, the Living Tribunal is as high as I want to go. Marvel's kind of slowly been like pulling back the curtain more and more on like like the powerful beings of the universe because it started out with like the Asgardians, and so yeah, we got like Thor and Loki, and like there were gods on Earth, and then yeah, like the Guardians, teased, that yes, possibly, like there were Eternals out there, um, because that's how we got the Infinity Stones, and then you kind of got like a side tangent, like the with like the TVA and like the timekeepers and everything, and like and now I still feel like like we're going a little step higher, with the Eternals here, and yes, like you, I would love to see Galactus, but yeah. We don't need to go much higher than this. Like we don't need to go all the way back to like like the one creator of like the Marvel universe or anything. No, yeah, the Living Tribunal is about as high up on like the theistic Marvel Marvel scale as I would like to go. Like I said, you just summed it up perfectly there. My last question to you for this though, Alex, is this a day one watch for you?
So I kind of been joking around with my friend that I will be watching this day one, but the minute that if they, and I swear to God, you can hold me to this, people. If they open this movie and it's anything along the lines of since the beginning of time, I'm checking out. I promise you, I'm gonna get up and I'm gonna get out of my chair and I'm gonna walk because that is just such a cop out. Like it's just so like it's just been done to death at that point for me, and I just will not. I won't be hearing any of it. I don't want it. I just, it's. I don't know. Maybe I'm overreacting, but it's just been done in too many freaking movies. So I don't want to hear that shit, dude. Just let's just show me the damn celestial, and let's just get on with it. That's what I got. But what about you, Sam? You got your tickets already?
Well, this release date falls on my mom's birthday, so I might
Guess
have to
what,
go.
Mom?
Happy birthday, mom! Guess what I got you? um, so I might have to, go see it like on Saturday or go to like a late night screening. But yeah, this will definitely be like a day one or like at least like a day two screening. But yeah, I will definitely be there. And even if they start with a voiceover that says "since the dawn of time," I will still stick around just to see what it looks like. But all right, jumping from the Eternals to another trailer. Be careful what you wish for, Mr. Parker. Sony finally pulled back the curtains this week and released the official teaser trailer for Spider-Man No Way Home. After weeks and weeks, the collaboration between Marvel Studios and Sony Pictures finally gave fans their first look at the third installment of the MCU Spider-Man franchise. Alex, what do you think of this collaboration so far? Is this the best Spider-Man franchise?
So for this, as far as this collaboration, so far, I had my doubts in the beginning, like how could two, kind of at the time warring um, studios come together and manage to do what's best for the fans. It was like one of those things where you just look at it and you're just really cynical, like, nah, there's got to be some kind of a catch. But they made it work. And so far we've gotten some great movies from it. I know Homecoming was awesome. Far From Home was great. I look forward to No Way Home. This trailer definitely piqued my interest with that. As far as is this the best Spider-Man franchise, man? I do not. So are we talking like Toby and
Toby, Garfield,
Garfield,
Holland.
Holland, and uh, I would say Toby kind of still holds a really good, because that was when I was like just graduating from high school, or I was still in high school, and it's like those, you look back with the rose tinted glasses and everything like that. It was just a great time. Um, you can hear the Nickelback just blaring in the background, and so I would say if this movie proves to be as good as the trailer looks, then it would definitely make this franchise leapfrog the original Toby franchise for me. But that one's still on the top, just barely though. And they're all really good in their own respective ways. And I honestly wish that Garfield had gotten his third movie, but um, you know that just wasn't in the cards. So, well, what about you, Sam? Do you think this was the best the Spider-Man franchise, and what do you think of this kind of the coming together of Marvel and Sony?
I really do think Sony did the best thing, and they're like, look, you're gonna slap our name on the trailer, on the label, like on the posters. But
Hmm.
other than that, we're gonna take a huge step back and just let Marvel do Spider-Man. As long as you just put that Sony logo in front of it, we don't care. That's
Right.
that's what I feel. Uh, what do I think of this collaboration so far? Like you, I didn't think that this could happen. I thought it would be a real shame to have two competing Spider-Man franchises, like running side by side. So I'm glad Sony and Disney and Marvel could put aside their differences to give the fans what they want. It's been a really great collaboration so far. It's really fun to see Spider-Man interacting with other MCU heroes instead of having to be locked away in his own little alternate universe there. Is this the best Spider-Man franchise? Uh, like you, I have rose tinted glasses about the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man. I can remember seeing that in like a packed theater on on a Friday night and having to sit like almost in like the front row, with like my feet kicked up on like the metal bar, that they have on that front row, and just still being blown away by what I was seeing on the screen. And it was so amazing that like I convinced my two best friends in high school at that time that we should see it that Saturday, because they hadn't seen it, because they were kind of on the fence about it. I had gone with some other friends like that Friday, and yeah, like I immediately went back and just again was just blown away. Um, but as we all know, Toby's franchise kind of stumbled in its third iteration, and Garfield never even got a third film. So, uh, yes, if this one turns out to be as good as the trailer's making it out to be, then yeah, I'm afraid Tom Holland. Well, I'm not afraid, but Tom Holland will have the best Spider-Man franchise out there. Some people believe that Sony's hands were forced, though, after there was a reported leak of the trailer in the days before the release. This has caused a bit of discussion among fans. There are those that appreciate these big leaks, and those that felt like the leak did not do the franchise justice. Alex, did you get to see the leak? What did you think of the situation? Do leaks of this magnitude help or hurt a production's hype?
So we here at My Comic Life can neither confirm nor deny that we saw the leak in question. Um,
The
but
truth is out there, Alex.
hypothetically, I did see this leak, and I leaked. I'm no. I didn't leak the leak. You know what? Hypothetically, I shared this leak with everybody that I knew, and I mean, it was. Did it hurt the franchise? I don't think so. I think it did drum up the hype, and it did force Sony to finally release the trailer. I don't know what they were doing, just sitting on that, but because the leak was, if anybody actually saw it, it was like a cell phone video of a cell phone video of a cell phone video of a laptop video. This was like there was like 4 pixels, and the damn thing was like deep fried all to hell, dude. You couldn't see jack shit without knowing, you know, what you were looking at beforehand. But I think that this was good for the kind of the really dedicated fans to this franchise, because it was kind of one of those things where you could be like, hey man, check it out, we got the leak, and it was just something that you could keep on the hush, and it spread like wildfire. It was like very quickly, and then like not even 24 hours later, they released the trailer to kind of get in front of it. And so I could see how it could hurt a production, especially like other, considering that this was in the same week that they released the Eternals trailer, and it was kind of supposed to just be like Eternals week, and just let people talk about that. But then all of a sudden we've got this leak for Spider-Man, and then we've got the actual trailer for Spider-Man. So it kind of really took away from what the Eternals had to offer. Because I think you said it yourself when we were in rehearsal for the show. You said that the Eternals trailer only had like 600 and what was it?
It was right at 666,000 likes.
Yeah, and at the time, I believe Spider-Man was like the most viewed Marvel trailer. It broke the record. It broke like Endgame's record, as far as, or Infinity, either one of those two. And so that could have been the Eternals that did that, but it is what it is. We got both trailers. We're here, and we got some great content for the listeners to talk to. But how do you feel about these kind of situations? Um, do you like this kind of clandestine type of leaking, or do you just kind of want to let the studios, think for themselves and do what they do best?
I mean, I don't mind with I don't mind the occasional leak. Now, like, I don't need every Marvel trailer or like every DC trailer or every image trailer being leaked before it's time. Occasionally, when these pop up, I'm okay with it. Like, if somebody's already like released a cell phone video and it's already out there, you might as well release like what you were gonna release, just in like a better format, than somebody's cell phone. I hadn't considered though that it was taking away from the Eternals. I always thought that, for me, there is enough hype surrounding the Eternals, so I wasn't ever like worried about that. But you're right though. Spider-Man, I think, broke Avengers Endgame viewing record, and like Endgame had like a couple of 100 million, maybe. Don't quote me on that, but it had a very high number. And you're right, Eternals could have done that, but also maybe like this should teach studios not to hold back these teasers so much. I mean, give the people what they want. I know people are clamoring for the Matt Reeves, like another look at Matt Reeves' Batman movie, and I think Warner Bros. Should just go ahead and give like a teaser trailer, like a second trailer for that one. But yeah, no, not everything needs to be, you know, leaked and leaked and leaked. No, I mean, some things just need to come in their own time. And really, this hasn't become like a bad problem, or at least I haven't seen it become like a bad problem. Occasionally, yeah, you do get like a leak, like this Spider-Man trailer, and I will neither confirm nor deny that it was sent to me, supposedly sent to me by somebody on staff at My Comic Life, supposedly.
One of those interns, those damn interns,
Yeah,
bro.
one of those dang college interns we hired for the summer. Um, but yeah, no, it was still fun to see the leaked version and then like the official version with all the cleaned up effects, supposedly. But yeah, no. Like I said, as long as it doesn't become like the norm, where like every hacker fanboys like hacking studios to like force them to like release trailers when they want to. Every once in a while's um, is okay with me. But hey, speaking of leaks, the trailer confirmed many rumors and plot leaks that have made their way through the subreddits and other message boards. Among the many plot details, the story centers around the multiverse. Doctor Strange is featured prominently, and villains from previous Spider Man franchises will make their way into the MCU. This teaser trailer is full of high octane action, and the movie looks to be promising to fans of the beloved web slinger. And this is from IMBD. For the first time in cinematic history of Spider-Man, our friendly neighborhood hero is unmasked and no longer able to separate his normal life from the high stakes of being a superhero. When he asks for help from Doctor Strange, the stakes even become even more dangerous, forcing him to discover what it truly means to be Spider-Man. Alex, let's cut the crap. Let's cut through all the red tape. Let's finally get down to brass tacks here, man. What did you think of the trailer?
I thought it was. I thought it was tight, man. It was really good. It definitely got me hyped up, and it it had something for the the real fans of the franchise, like the kind of fans that were the ones that pushed, Sony and Disney to put aside, whatever competition they had to make something happen with Spider-Man. I felt like this trailer was kind of an homage to them because of all the little kind of Easter eggs that have been in it, and it's like the trailer is what, like 2 or 3 minutes long, but then you've got these 30-minute videos of people just looking at every frame and just finding these little bit the tiniest of details that actually turn out to be um, big kind of Easter eggs. So I thought that the trailer was really cool. There was a lot of it that like when Doctor Strange, when he takes apart that train and stuff, and you really start to see kind of the that reality is just warping and everything like that. And I do feel like they did, Marvel did what Marvel does, and they did some really slick editing, and some of those shots that we see are not going to be the way that we see them in the trailer. Um, and so I am just super excited to see this movie, and I cannot wait for it to come out. But what about you? What do you think of the trailer, Sam?
I thought this trailer was both amazing and spectacular. Um, Definitely built the hype, definitely built the excitement, definitely, kind of gave me the goosebumps. The only thing I was kind of disappointed in was I didn't get to see more of, J. Jonah Jameson. Like, bring him back. Like, I want to see more of him in this movie. But no, totally hyped for this. I think who whoever the company is that cuts Marvel trailers together, and maybe it's just Marvel, and maybe Kevin Feige's got a hand in cutting all their trailers, but their trailers always blow me away, give me goosebumps, look amazing, and this Spider-Man trailer is no exception. It looks fantastic. Um, I gotta ask you,
I
were you
actually did.
already?
You know that Jay Jonah? Speaking of him, did you see that in? There's that small Easter egg, and I'm sorry for getting off base here, but in
No,
Venom,
no.
at the very beginning when that astronaut comes back, it's actually J. Jonah Jameson's son,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
that's
yeah.
comic accurate too. So
Yeah, it is. It is. Um, but I got to ask you, were you already hyped before the trailer dropped, and did the teaser add anything to that, or were there any surprises in this teaser for you?
there was tons of surprises. I guess I we had if you've been following the My Comic Life podcast for a while, which I know you guys have. Um, then you'll know that we've covered kind of the rumors and everything that have been swirling around this production since its inception, and I was still very surprised to finally to not only to see them on the screen, but that to know that that was something that they were like, okay, we're gonna go ahead and let that cat out of the bag now, and I almost to the point where I kind of sympathize with you and being like, man, that would have been really cool if they'd have just kept that, under wraps, and we'd have just got to see it in the moment. Like, can you imagine that thing with Doc Ock, or with the pumpkin bomb or anything like that happening, and you not knowing that it's coming like that, and seeing it in like live with a packed house and everything like that. Like just go back to thinking about Endgame, and when how Marvel kept so tight-lipped about it, and then when you see like Steve Rogers pick up the Mjolnir, spoiler alert for a 5-year-old movie, by the way, but or when you see the on your left moment and stuff like that. It's like stuff like that was like it makes the hairs on the back of your neck stand up, and it's like it is literally electrifying, and a lot of these moments in that trailer could have at least like tapped into that kind of feeling of frisson that you would get from witnessing something like that. So I do sympathize with you as far as that goes, but I mean, what about you? Were there any surprises for you? And did this add to any hype at all for you?
Well, I mean, I was already very hyped for this. I have always been like a big Spider-Man fan, so I mean, just getting like the littlest peek here at what this third one's going to be about, I was very, very excited. Since I already knew Alfred Molina was coming back to reprise his role as Doc Ock, like it wasn't shocking to see him in the trailer. What did catch me off guard, yeah, was seeing the Green Goblin bomb and hearing the Willem Dafoe laugh, because I hadn't heard that Willem Dafoe was coming back for this, and it's still not 100% confirmed. That could be a total fake out, but I mean, just hearing like his voice and like his laughter just definitely kind of gave me goosebumps and like caught me off guard. It's awesome to see Doctor Strange, yeah, like bending and warping the train, and kind of like in an Inception-esque way, like we see like New York, like kind of folding and bending in on itself. I think this will be a great setup for Doctor Strange and Into the Multiverse of Madness, but I don't think he's going to steal the show. Like, this won't be like a whole setup vehicle just for his film. I still think this is going to be a strong Spider-Man film. And striking that balance sometimes can be hard, and Marvel and DC have both failed at it before. But this looks to be, finding like that sweet spot of like launching another film inside another film. um,
Right.
but this third installment of the MCU Spider-Man franchise, Alex, it looks like it's throwing everything but the kitchen sink at the viewer. Last two questions here. Do you have any wild predictions, and is this a day one watch for you?
Oh, absolutely, 100%. It is a day one watch for me. That is no question. I wouldn't have cared if this trailer looked like dog shit. I would still be lining up day one to watch Spider-Man. That he's just that special to me, as far like he just like immediately transported to my childhood. That being said, do I have any wild predictions? I know you had one that sounded really interesting. Do you care to elaborate on? I mean, I don't really have anything of substance. I put my tinfoil hat down and yield the floor to my good buddy Sam here. Do you have any wild
All right,
predictions?
I'm gonna pick up your tinfoil hat and put it on here. Even though certain stars are denying they're in this, I'm willing, I'm willing, like Thanos snapped to change the universe. I am willing Charlie Cox to be in this film as Matt Murdock defending Peter Parker. I don't care if he says no a million times. I will not. I refuse to believe that Daredevil is not in this film until I see it. Or at least Matt Murdock. Second one, I totally believe Andrew Garfield is in this, and I think you made a good point. I think he's trying to build hype and save face with Marvel by claiming he's not in it. And I also believe Tobey Maguire will pop up in it. And if not Andrew Garfield, at least Tobey Maguire will pop up in this film. But I think they're trying to like hold back like some like the bigger reveals, which is totally perfect for me. Um, but it's going to be a real waste if you don't at least get two out of the three, guys who have played Spider-Man on on film here. I will think that is a really missed opportunity, especially if you're delving into this whole idea of multiverses, and you've already got villains confirmed like Electro from Garfield's franchise, and we've seen Alfred Molina from Maguire's franchise here. Like I said, huge waste if you can't get at least Maguire or Garfield, or fingers crossed you get all of them on screen together, dancing. I'll even take them dancing, like emo dancing, um, just to get all three of them on screen. And please let Charlie Cox be in this as Matt Murdock, teasing a possible return of Daredevil. That's my tinfoil hopes and predictions.
So I have to ask you, is this a day one watch for you?
Oh, definitely. I will be there either with a very bold Spider-Man shirt on or some subtle nerd reference to Spider-Man on my T-shirt. Yeah, I will be there day one. Yeah, Spider-Man No Way Home is directed by John Watts, who directed Spider-Man Homecoming and Spider-Man Far From Home, and it stars Tom Holland, Zendaya, and Benedict Cumberbatch so far. This movie is expected to release December 17th, barring any setbacks. Oh, Alex, FYI, on our previous episode, we were talking about how Amazing Fantasy 15 is up for auction, and I believe that's first appearance of Spider-Man. And actually, it's sold. So update on that. It's sold for $3.6 million. And the current highest iteration of that comic book sold back in 2011 for 2.16 million dollars, and this one sold for $3.6 million. Wow, folks, hold on to your comic books, man. Hold on to them. Maybe don't even read them. Just board and back them, and if you can get them signed by the creator, go get them signed by the creator.
Or better yet, send them to me and I will hold on to them for you.
Yes, Alex has a impenetrable vault built into his house, and he can keep all your comic books safe for you there. So safe, in fact, you might never get them back.
Absolutely.
All right. But moving on to our third Marvel segment of the show. Sorry, DC. We swear, as soon as you start, kicking up your film and TV franchises again, we will get back to covering them.
2022
right now,
is your year, DC.
Yeah. 2022 is your year, DC, and we here at My Comic Life promise to give fair and balanced coverage to DC. But for right now, it's all Marvel all the time. So rolling on here to What If. The third episode of Marvel Studios' What If aired August 25th and is titled What If the World Lost Its Mightiest Heroes. All right. Pausing here for that oh so awesome My Comic Life spoiler alert. Spoiler alert, spoiler alert, spoiler alert. Pause the podcast here if you haven't seen this episode of What If. I'm going to tell you, either use your log on or borrow somebody's log on, watch the episode, and then come back and start it here. I'm giving you that 4 countdown. We're going in 4, 3, 2, 1. Spoiler alert, here we go. Yes, like I said, the third episode of Marvel Studios' What If aired August 25th and is titled What If the World Lost Its Mightiest Heroes. Over the course of a week, S.H.I.E.L.D. director Nick Fury attempts to recruit heroes for the Avengers Initiative, but they are each mysteriously killed. Natasha Romanoff injects Tony Stark with an unexpected fatal injection. Clint Barton accidentally shoots and kills Thor before dying in S.H.I.E.L.D. custody. Bruce Banner / the Hulk explodes, and Romanoff is attacked and killed while investigating the other murders. And before she dies, Romanoff is on the phone telling Fury the murders are related to Hope. The Asgardians, led by Loki, arrive on Earth to avenge Thor, and Fury proposes an alliance to apprehend the killer. Fury deduces that Hank Pym is the murderer and has been using his shrinking technology to commit the murders as revenge for the death of his daughter, Hope Van Dyne, who died in the line of duty as a S.H.I.E.L.D. agent. Fury and Loki defeat Pym, who is taken into Asgardian custody. Loki chooses to stay on Earth and become its ruler, and Fury begins assembling more heroes, finding Steve Rogers frozen in ice and summoning Carol Danvers to Earth. Alex, what did you think of the mystery whodunit style of this episode? Do you appreciate that so far each episode has had its own theme?
I do. I kind of liked how this one went. This one was really good. I liked but I think so far my favorite one has been the heist style of the previous episode, the one with the Star Lord in it. Um, or I believe that's the previous episode. I'm not sure. They all kind of run together, but uh, this one I did like the whodunit style of um, this one, and it was actually kind of a while before I was able to kind of put it together. I thought it was what's his name, the legit Ant Man, Scott. I thought it was Scott Lang for a while, but then when it turns out that it was Hank Pym, and then they actually got Michael Douglas to voice it, it's like, man, how the hell, some of these cast credits, dude, it's like you're like, man, I of course, fuck coronavirus, but man, they give these guys a lot of time to kind of to do this kind of stuff. So I guess you take your blessings when you can. But I enjoyed this episode very much. It was really good, and I do like that so far. Each episode has kind of had its own theme. I believe. Well, the first one was kind of just like action kind of a theme, and then you had the heist kind of episode with T'Challa, and then with this one you had this kind of murder mystery. So I hope that they keep going with stuff like this, and maybe that's kind of the shtick of this show. So we'll see what the next few episodes bring. But what about you, Sam? Did you like this kind of murder mystery type of style, or and do you appreciate that each episode so far has had its own kind of um, little theme to it?
Oh yeah, no. Each episode seems to be like like jumping from like one alternate universe to like another, and like that's been fun to see. Of course, the standout one was the like what if the Black Panther joined the Guardians of the Galaxy or formed the Guardians of the Galaxy. That is still by far the best and strongest episode. But no, this whodunit mystery, I love a good whodunit mystery, and I really had no idea what was going on up until Natasha said, you know, uh, it's all about hope, or it deals with hope. My mind
Mm-hmm.
immediately went Hope Van Dyne. Now, I got Hope and Janet crisscrossed in my head, and so I thought it was Hank Pym's wife. But like you, I wasn't 100% sure whether it was, yeah, Hank Pym or Scott Lang. And kudos, yeah, kudos to Marvel. I don't know like how they write up these actors' contracts, or like if these actors just really like working with Marvel, you know, or if it's like, hey, we reserve the right to like call you back for like three side projects. I don't know how they're doing it, but they are getting their film level voice, their film level acting talent to come back and voice the characters in these what if episodes, and it is awesome. And yeah, like I said, I love the whole, like in like one universe, like what if Agent Carter became Captain America, and like a whole nother universe, or maybe all this is taking place sort of in a shared universe, and we just don't know it yet. But it looks like we're getting like a peek in at several Marvel multiverses, and that's been fun, just to see, like what multiverse are we going into this week. Now, this episode's story was inspired by a comic called Fury's Big Week, a limited series that was published in 2012 and that served as a tie-in to Phase 1's Marvel Cinematic Universe. It explained how the events of Iron Man 2, The Incredible Hulk, and Thor were happening at the same time, hence the title cards featuring the days of the week in between the scenes. Alex, do you like it when companion productions like Marvel What If and other productions like the Animatrix and the Chronicles of Riddick Dark Fury use the opportunity to fill in some of the gaps in these bigger projects?
I always enjoy a really good kind of like an animated companion piece that comes out with a big production. Even I even did like the Chronicles of Riddick one. Um, the Animatrix is, I could take it or leave it. Um, but yeah, I would like to see What If kind of fill in some of the gaps that happen between, or not necessarily What If, but like maybe another series kind of be dedicated to showing what happened between like Avengers 1 and 2, or what was going on between in the 5 years between Infinity War and Endgame. That would be kind of cool for them to explore that in an animated setting, because it did sound like there was a lot going on, especially if you go on with Carol Danvers and stuff, because she's like flying throughout the galaxy, and she could that can be a very episodic type of formula where each episode she's on a new planet, trying to solve their problems, and hopefully the next leap will be the leap home. But but I would like to see them not necessarily do it here in What If, but to kind of create another kind of animated companion show to tackle, kind of fill in the gaps for that. I mean, and I guess maybe they do that using, that's what the comic books are for, I guess I could say. So I mean, duh. But uh, to make it a little bit more mainstream and to make it a little bit more fun for the fans of these big productions, I think that they should maybe explore something like that. What about you, Sam? Do you like when these kind of productions use their opportunity to fill in some of the space between their bigger projects?
Yeah, and Marvel kind of used to do this like on the DVD Blu-ray releases of like like their Phase 1 films, like you like there's one of them where like Coulson is driving to New Mexico to
Mm.
get Thor's hammer. They used to have these, and they were fun little fillers. And like you, I am all about yeah, like filling in the gaps where you can. Uh, yeah, I don't necessarily like want to see it on Marvel's like What If, but yeah, no, if you wanted to go back to like Phase 1 and give me like an animated series following Phil or like various agents around, kind of like what happened in this episode, kind of like bridging the gaps between, so like Iron Man 1 and 2, Captain America, Thor, like what was going on like in the background. I always find that fascinating because yes, this is a living, breathing world, and there are plenty of fascinating stories happening in between, or right when one movie is like focusing on Thor, or like one movie is focusing on Iron Man. There's so much going on in the background that could be explored, and that would be a lot of fun. Last two questions here for you, Alex. First, what was your favorite part of the episode, and what would you rate this episode?
Okay, so before you get into that, real quickly, yeah, I think I read somewhere that the character Coulson, you had mentioned him briefly here. I think now he has been in a Marvel movie, a Marvel short, a Marvel show, a Marvel animated show, and a Marvel video game. So I think he is the one of the only, if not the only, character that has done all five. So, which I thought was pretty cool. Um, but back to your question, what was my favorite part of the episode? Speaking of Coulson, I think it would have to be him, and the way he was just absolutely in love with Thor's hair. I thought that was funny as hell. Um, and it was kind of a lighter part of this episode, which kind of really had, was kind of filled with this air of mystery and this kind of this frantic like drive to solve this mystery. And then I also liked Loki a lot. I thought he did a really good job in this episode. And when what's his name, freaking Hank Pym, thought he was fighting Nick Fury, and it turns out that he was fighting Loki. I thought that was probably some of the best parts for me of the episode. What would I rate this episode? It was, I think it was worse than what did we give the T'Challa one, like a 9.0 or somewhere around there?
Yeah, just
So,
about a 9.
and what did we get the Captain Carter? Did we give that like a strong 8 or 7.5 or something like that? So
Like 8.5.
Okay, I would probably give this one. If I gave Carter 8.5, I would put this one probably below Carter, just because um, it like I like the action of that first one, and I really kind of liked how they took a pivotal moment of the MCU and kind of really flipped it. Whereas this one was just like, this one wasn't really that plausible to me as far as like because I really thought that all these what if shows were supposed to be about one, like a branch, like a single branch, and this one was just like, well, what if Hank Pym went crazy? So um, I would rate this one probably a very strong 7.5 for me is what I would rate this. But what about you, Sam? I'm dying to know what your favorite part of this episode is and what you would rate it.
My favorite part was just seeing Natasha running all over the MCU, getting her, seeing her interact with like Betty and Bruce, and like I said, just kind of like living in the background of all these other films that were going on at the time. That was just cool, and kind of seeing her interact with like Thunderbolt Ross, and seeing that whole university fight scene kind of take a different twist with Black Widow being there and everything like that was just cool to see. Rate this episode just a flat 8, like B minus. I mean, fun episode, not the best, but I mean fun, and good who done it right up to the end there. But yeah, like I said, just solid 8 there. But best part was just seeing Black Widow, like I said, walking around, as you said, kind of in the background of this universe, and just seeing her interact with all the other characters there. So yeah, that's it for me. Do you have anything else to add, Alex?
No, I respect it. Solid 8 is kind of what I was waving about, but we still got, I think there's 10 total episodes, and this is the third or the fourth one, somewhere around there. Oh, this is the third episode, so I think rating it there is a good place to kind of like, because obviously to me it's the least like the least interesting of the three that we've had so far. So we got only one place to go, and that's up. If you'll keep listening to us, as we continue to review Marvel What If, with next week's episode, which I think is What If Doctor Strange Fought Evil Doctor Strange. So be sure to tune in next week. We're back, guys, and we can't wait to keep going through this amazing show with you guys.
Oh, most definitely. Most definitely. All right, folks, this wraps up this edition of My Comic Life. As always, it's time to shout out our My Comic Life Fan of the Week. Our My Comic Life Fan of the Week is Carl Arbogast from San Francisco, California. Carl, thank you so much for emailing us your show ideas and liking our Facebook page. Carl Arbogast from San Francisco, California, we salute you, sir. You are our My Comic Life Fan of the Week.
We salute you, Carl. We promise you we're going to get to some DC.
Yeah, for sure, Carl. Yeah, and hey, we do this show for you, the fans. So if you have any ideas, if you want to hear us talk more DC, more Star Trek, more Star Wars, more video games, email us at realmycomiclife@gmail.com. Again, that email address is realmycomiclife@gmail.com. Also, please continue to like our Facebook page. Just spread that around like wildfire. Get your friends, get your relatives, get anybody to like our Facebook page, but especially find us on YouTube. Just look for that oh so fabulous, oh so amazing, oh so awesome My Comic Life logo and click that subscribe. It really means a lot to us and it really helps grow the show. We've been stuck at a strong but faithful 12 to 13 listeners since we launched our YouTube channel. You could be our 14th, 15th, or 16th and really get us over that hump there. But as always, folks, ditch the herd, be a nerd, stay strong out there, my friends.